So in this video, I'm going to go over another hex derivative called HELGO, and I'm going to break down how it's actually a staking alternative disguised as a meme coin. So HELGO was actually named after the Helgorian, but people call him HELGO for short. And the Helgorian is a famous OG hexagon for accurately calling the bottoms on the hex price, especially during the bull 2021. When hex went up to 50 cents. I call him mysterious because people really don't know his true identity and he disappears from time to time. And he also has a long list of hexagons waiting on his return, so he can continue to share his knowledge in some of the chats. And keep in mind he also has an indicator named after him called the HELGO indicator, but it's not actually a tool, it's actually the Helgorian himself. And he consistently appears in the hex chats during local bottoms. So with a serious level of skill like this, why is HELGO still considered a meme coin? So not only it was named after somebody, but the white paper was made as a joke. And the white paper is called the paper of white. And when you read the paper of white, you'll see that it's in broken English because the Helgorian is actually a foreigner. But you can read a better version called the Idiot Man Guide. And the term Idiot Man is actually part of the Helgorian's famous quotes. Now what's with all the goats? It's actually his favorite animal, and legend has it that he's a goat whisperer, but I don't know how true that is. Now that we established the origin and the meme part of HELGO, let's talk about the launch. So ironically, HELGO launched during the bottom of the bear market, and this was a 33-day launch phase where people can send their hex or pulse coins, and after the launch phase, people receive their HELGO tokens along with half their hex tokens that's wrapped in HELP, and the other half of the hex that was sent is retained in the contract. And the pulse that was collected was used to buy more hex. So the total amount of hex collected was a little over 107 million. And after the launch, it was used along with the 5% of the HELGO supply to help get the liquidity pool set up for both hex and HELGO. And the participants that receive their HELP tokens get paid in swap fees when they hold it. That's because HELP is an LP token that represents a position in the hex and HELGO pool. And if they want to relieve their position, they can just unwrap it, or what they call melt it, and they'll get their hex and HELGO back. Now keep in mind that when you don't claim the fees that you earn within 24 hours, then it automatically goes back into the pool to increase your LP position so you can earn more yield. So not only that you earn the fees when people swap hex and HELGO, but you can also get paid in more HELP on top of it when you farm the HELP tokens. And for those that don't know what yield farming is, it's when you use your tokens to earn incentive rewards in the DeFi protocol. So we already know that the hex rewarded is coming from the other half of the hex that remains in the contract after the launch. But where is the HELGO coming from? Well, that extra HELGO is coming from the 45% used in the emissions pool. So we got 22.5% of the HELGO supply rewarding people for farming HELP, and we got the other 22.5% of the supply going to the people farming for just HELGO, using HELGO by itself, or what we like to call single-sided staking. And over time, the supply will dry up, and there will be no longer that big bonus that you can get on top of these fees. And speaking of fees, the HELGO protocol does have an entry and exit fee at 0.69%, and that 69% is used to buy and burn HELGO. Let's get into more detail. So every time you make a deposit, that entry fee for the HELGO pool is used to burn HELGO. And every time you make a withdrawal, that HELGO from the exit fee is added back into the emission pools to reward the farmers for just HELGO. Now what about the fees for HELP? So every time you make a deposit in the HELP pool, that entry fee melts HELP, and the hex that is unwrapped from HELP is now swapped for HELGO. And that HELGO also gets added to the emission pools to reward the farmers for farming HELGO. And this benefits the holders of the HELP tokens as well because they earn swap fees from this. Now with the exit fees, every time you make a withdrawal, those fees goes back into the HELP emissions pool. And warning, don't ever click the refund button because that's only for the people that wants to give all their money away for free. Because you're not refunding for you, you're actually refunding back to the pools. Now let's talk about the DAO Treasury. So the DAO Treasury started off with 5% of the HELGO supply sent to it after launch, along with around 5 million shares of HEX. And it gives people the option to vote on whether they can use all that HELGO to buy more HEX or use HEX to buy more HELGO. And you vote by locking up your HELGO. And the more HELGO you lock up and the longer you lock it up for, you can actually get more votes. But what are the benefits of having this system? So when the HEX price is low, voters are likely to use that 69% of the HELGO supply to actually buy more HEX. And not only to help support the price and keep it from going down further, but HEX is actually now taken off the market and held in the DAO Treasury till it's time to vote again. Now keep in mind that you can deposit HEX into the DAO Treasury to increase the holdings for nothing in return. And over time, the DAO Treasury managed to collect 95 million HEX, bringing it to 100 million HEX in total. So what if the HEX price just shoots up? Then the voters will likely vote to use 0.69% of that HEX to actually swap in the HELGO, increasing the HELGO price with no negative negative effects to the HEX price in the process. And this is why HELGO acts as a leveraged derivative of HEX, because it offers entry and exit liquidity for HEX without bringing it down. Now, what about the other 35% of the HELGO supply that was allocated? Well, that 35% was actually allocated to 37 vaults controlled by 37 founders. And these vaults are not going to unlock the whole 35% at one time, but is going to gradually do it over a 15-year period. And there is no expectations for the use of these coins when they do get unlocked. So now you see why HELGO is more than just a meme coin. It's actually a utility token to HEX Liquidity Management Fund. And speaking of liquidity, it has over 200 million HEX in liquidity, separate from the 100 million HEX sitting in the DAO treasury. And if you participate in the farms today, you can get 17% APY for the HELP and 13% with just HELGO. So you can stake HEX the traditional way, or you can use a liquid to try to earn more yield. Not financial advice. It's up to you.